So, drawing from reference. Everyone says that you have to draw from reference to learn, but they also say that it's bad, that it makes you a copycat or a dirty sinner, not a quote-unquote real artist. But no one really tells you how to use refs or how to best learn from them. Do you copy it perfectly, memorize it, stare at it until it makes sense? Honestly, I used to avoid it altogether because it made it feel like I was cheating, but that crippled my growth and self-esteem. The truth is, reference isn't bad or quote-unquote cheating. It's a tool, a damn good one that you should be using proudly every single day. And if you know some different ways to use it, it'll completely change your art. So today I'll share some ideas I wish someone had handed me years ago, and all about how I draw from reference and use it as a guide to expand my ideas and express style. This will be a step-by-step walkthrough of how I approach using references in all of my work. Starting with step 1, set your intent. Before you even pick a reference, ask yourself, what do I need this for? What am I studying? Anatomy, expression, movement, all of the above, and or trying to make a cool piece? This step can be pretty overlooked, but it'll shape how you use the reference. You're not just grabbing pretty photos, you're choosing a tool to solve a problem, or help you start a project. Always be conscious of what you're aiming to accomplish. Choose a pose that already gives off a vibe that you wish to capture and push. Be mindful of some abstract things during this step as well. Be attentive to the lighting, movement, and even the shape of the silhouette in your reference. All of this can be used to amplify a character's personality or the emotion and mood in an illustration or painting. A lot of this is actually really easy to understand, but it takes a very abstract perspective, that of which I would love to cover in a shape design video or something later on. But for now, when I study from reference, I always like to keep it interesting by drawing fan art or whatever I'm currently obsessed with. Right now that is Soul Calibur, so when choosing references for this video, I chose poses that would fit the characters that I'm going to draw and kind of like push their overall essence and make it look cool. My go-to ref space and finding a killer reference. Graffiti Studio, sponsor time. They offer insanely high quality photo packs with hundreds, sometimes even thousands of poses. There's dramatic lighting, fantasy costumes, real anatomy, pro models, everything artists dream of, like even big guns and swords, you name it. I've been using them for years now, and honestly I never run out of ideas. You get real anatomy, real movement, and references that are made for artists by artists. If you want to support the channel and grab some of the best ref packs out there, check out the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, so it helps me out while helping you improve. Once you have your poses picked, if you're building a scene, grab multiple refs. One for mood, colors, one for structure, one for texture, one for the cool hat you want to add, or the goat legs you want to paint in. Pretty much whatever. It's like Frankensteining your own reality. Or how I like to think of it, it's like doing a photo collage, but way cooler because you're actually painting all the pictures you're mashing together. So with our refs up on PeerRef, link in description if you don't know what that is, get it, it's free. Let's go over how I think about it all step by step. Step 1, and how to observe like an artist. I start out by completely copying the exact pose. That's right, no changes yet, just basically studying and focusing getting the main construction and forms down. So that means the usual, starting with a gesture for energy and then some solid shapes in there. When I was learning art completely alone, I did this and only this for years. And I might as well have been peeing in my own hands because my progress was stagnant and dehydrated. Copying mindlessly won't make you better, observing will. So instead of essentially tracing the shape, catch and ask yourself intention-based questions like, what's the form? How can I push the gesture? How does the light actually describe the volume here? Asking yourself questions like this while copying a picture turns your brain on, and you'll find yourself becoming more attentive and aware of what you're actually doing. This helps you retain the information and is how you grow and study effectively. It doesn't matter if you can answer these or not, the fact that you ask them while drawing is enough for you to start finding these solutions, and eventually understanding your subject completely. Copying mindlessly over and over, no matter how perfect the copy is like giving yourself a super solid workout but only eating marshmallows. Like sure, you'll probably still get buff, but much slower than if you were to eat nutritious foods after each workout. Practicing intentful observation when using reference this way is how you make those gains way faster. Observation is protein shakes, vegetables, hugs, and kisses. Step 2, interpret it, push it, play it, do whatever with it. This is where you bring you into the process. Change the angle, push the pose, stylize the anatomy, combine two references, mess it up a little. Your initial one-to-one reference copy is pretty much like an action figure. You've posed it once, but now that it's here on your canvas, you can move the limbs around and pose it any way you like. Using this drawing to demonstrate this, I start with that direct one-to-one study of the reference picture. Then I could do things like straighten out the legs here like this, and if I want to change it more, I can move the arm up and add the other one in the background. Or I can keep the arms where they are and do something different with the legs. Or I can change everything and create a whole new pose entirely. I do this with my illustrations and studies in order to really enhance the established narrative. Usually the graffiti studio pose is lacking in some way to capture my vision, or it doesn't work great with a composition that I'm building. So changing out limbs like this and viewing the copied pose as something that is very malleable and posable is such a fun way to use references and not feel bad about it. Which you never should feel bad about using references. I will literally eat anybody who told you otherwise. This way of using references is going to be tricky biscuits without underlying anatomy or gesture knowledge. So if you're beginning in your art journey, really practice and build up your observation muscle each time you copy from reference. Feel more than welcome to play around moving the limbs or changing the pose, by the way, but don't feel discouraged if it's a lot harder than it seems at first. This will all come with steady and consistent observation and practice. Step 3, have fun, break it, remix it, do whatever, just have a blast. With my quote-unquote new pose down, it's just a fun time throwing designs on top of established forms, or rendering it all out. I believe drawing a fan art of something of a character that already exists is a really fun way to practice this. Since once you already have the form down from whatever reference you're looking at, you can then put the character's costume on top of it and even push their expression to really match the personality of said character. I covered this way of studying over in my anatomy video, and I think it's a very important way that brings you back to your desk and makes consistency easier, because if you're drawing a character that you really like or think looks really cool, then chances are you're going to actually care about what you're drawing and be more into it, rather than a fucking still life or something like that. Anyway, with my new quote-unquote pose down, it's just a fun time throwing designs on top of established forms or rendering it all out. I like to use multiple different references and basically just sit down and draw things on top of what I'm doing until it looks really cool. Something you can do if it's still looking too much like your main reference is to take away that reference completely. If you let it go, your brain is forced to make decisions on its own. That sort of scrambling is how you build intuition. Of course, you'll mess up. It'll look worse sometimes, but that's always okay. It's growth, and it's all fluid. If you're a digital artist, you can always group your layers and copy them to have a backup copy if you're going to make a major change or something. Sometimes I have up to 10 group layers of all crazy directions I took with a piece. And that's all part of it, because it gets you to where you need to go in order to paint that really cool piece or have that really comprehensive study. When I finally started properly asking myself questions while copying reference, my art leveled up so fast. Not because I was copying better, but because I was seeing better. You start to recognize shapes in everything. You see muscles as familiar shapes, which you can then see from any angle. And from there, sky's the limit. This is what I did for all my studies and paintings during my 6-month journey. Intentional observation like this is the key to internalizing all of the delicious data each reference is full of. So if you're stuck, or you feel like using references is cheating, it's not. I use references every time I draw, even when drawing from imagination. It's an afterwards thing though, to spice up things or figure out anatomical problems that I couldn't solve during the session. Anyway, it's seriously one of the most powerful things you can do. Copy it, understand it, translate it, reimagine it. It's a skill like anything else, but it's an awesome tool that is with you and for you. And if you want to test your observation skills with a monthly pose challenge, check out my community Discord, Art Castle, Art Castle, Art Castle. I handpick out a pose that I find really challenging once a month for everyone to partake in and reimagine. It's a lot of fun seeing what y'all come up with. Alongside that, you can participate in the 6-month gesture routine, share your art and sketches, start your own sketchbook, and so much more. If you want to check out all my sketches and have access to videos early, consider becoming a member today or supporting me on Patreon. I plan to release the real-time-ish footage of everything I drew for this video as well, so if you're interested in that, check it out. Before I go, I want to add that I missed out on so much joy, freedom, and progress by believing I was a bad artist if I used reference, or if my art looked bad when I didn't use reference. I hid my art away from the world and became a hairy little hermit because I was sold the belief that real artists don't use reference. If that sounds familiar, take a deep breath. References are incredible, essential, and so much fun. Learn to harness their power with curiosity and love. Anyway, that's all. A little short one this time, maybe a longer one next time, who knows. 1 step back, 2 steps forwards. Go draw something weird. See ya.